Okay, I've been promising to show you guys how to use the iron-on vinyl that I got from Sign Warehouse, and so I'm finally getting around to doing that. And one of the things you need to remember, I've got Design Studio pulled up here, but one of the things you need to remember is that you have to spell your words backwards. For instance, my daughter's boyfriend Chuck wants me to do him a hoodie, and he's told me everything he wants on it. So one of the things is his name. So I would have to make sure I'm spelling it right. See, and it's hard to spell things backwards sometimes. Alright, so there's his name. And a lot of times what I do is I'll do my design the right way first. So for instance, that way I know, okay, K-C-U-H-C. So I know I have it spelled right. And then I can just go back and delete that. Then what you're going to want to do is that you are going to want to flip. Okay, because, hang on, let me grab a piece of vinyl. The vinyl, okay, there you can see how it's shiny here. That is actually the transfer tape for the vinyl. And this back side, see how it's kind of a matte finish? That's the part that actually irons onto the shirt. So, but when you go to put the vinyl on your mat, the shiny side, pretty, shiny, slick, goes down on your mat, okay? Now, I'm doing a tiger on the front of his hoodie. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'm using the tiger from Team Spirit. I think I did it at 5.5 originally. I'll put that up there. It goes this way. So I've got it that way, but for it to be that way on the sweatshirt, I had to flip it. And then I'm going to show you on the black what I did is I went in, and this is the decal feature on the Team Spirit cartridge, and I hid the areas because I want a solid black. And then if you see this area here, that is going to be white. And I actually cut one out of paper because I wanted to see how it was going to look. Now he's got a white hoodie, so his hoodie, it's not going to have the white trim around the edge. It's just going to be the black and the orange, and then it's going to show the white sweatshirt underneath in the white areas. And I'm going to have to hand cut right there on the eyeball. Okay, get out of here. I did want to show you this real quick. What I use is a quilting mat and a quilting ruler and a rotary cutter, because the vinyl is expensive, so you want to be able to make sure you can use as much as you can. And so I know that my tiger head, I need 6 inches by 9 inches. Then I just simply line that up, and it cuts very easily with the rotary cutter and the quilting ruler. Okay, so now I've got my 6 inches, and now I'm going to come over here and, oops, sorry, give you a headache. Then I'm going to go 9 inches. And you see I still have this piece here, and I always keep these little pieces because I can use them for something else. Now, as not to waste the vinyl, you might see I'm actually down an inch and in an inch. Because, you know, you have, what is it, a 1/4 inch on the mat or so that it doesn't cut. But this way I have mine ready to not waste that 1/4 inch. And the vinyl I'm using is from signwarehouse.com, and I'll post that link in this blog post, and also I'll have a permanent link over in my sidebar under Oki's favorites. Okay, there we go. As you see, I've got the mat side down. Alright. Okay, in order for you not to cut all the way through, because you'll want to make sure you don't cut through that shiny piece, because that's the transfer tape like I was telling you a while ago. You'll want to have your settings on low on your pressure, and then you'll want to have it on 2 on your blade. Alright, now I'm going to get my mat. Hit load. Okay, once you get cut out, you're going to, and I've got the black here, you're going to want to weed out these areas that you're not going to use. And if you want, you can start with the big area around it. And with something like this, you might want to keep referring to the image to make sure you don't weed out the wrong thing, because I did do that before. So at least now I know, okay, I have my outline. And so now I can go and weed out those areas that will show up white because of the sweatshirt. Tear. And I always make sure I use a new mat and a new blade, so you know I get some good clean cuts, because this stuff is a little expensive to be running. If you're working with paper, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, and then when you get that done, there we go. I think I got it now. Then you'll just peel that up off your mat, and then you have your image. Trying to get it where you can see it without all that light. Now I'll finish cutting the rest of the stuff, and next I'll show you guys how to iron it on. Okay, one of the things you'll want to be sure is when you get ready to iron, you have a hard surface. And as you see, I've just used my craft table because my ironing board has the vent holes in it, and I want to make sure that I'm not getting any odd design or anything, or that it's going to iron down good. And I took the Teflon coating off my ironing board, the cover, and so I just used that on my table. And the next thing you'll want to do is make sure that you have your design where you want it, and I wanted it kind of centered, so I found out where the center was from there, and then just put it in the center of my design and kind of centered it. I just used my regular household iron, and you'll want to make sure I have mine on cotton setting. You'll want to make sure you have a piece of, which I have this postal paper that my aunt gave me a big roll a long time ago, and that way your iron's not sticking to the adhesive. Okay, so once you know you have all that covered, then you'll just start ironing, and make sure you're pressed down. And that's why I'm kind of standing up at this angle, or have the camera at this angle, is because I want to press down hard. And it doesn't take long, and this is heat release vinyl, so you don't wait till it gets cold to peel it off. You just want to kind of go over it good. Of course, if you have a heat press like my friend Lori has, it makes it probably a lot easier. But I don't have one of those, so I just use my iron. And you see I'm starting with the black, because that's the bottom layer. Okay, and that should be good. And you can always go in and check it. And what you want to do is you want to lift up, make sure none of the edges are lifting, and then just peel that on up. And then you have that. Then I got to let that cool for a little bit, so then I can get my orange layered. Okay, now I've got my orange layer on here, and let's see if I can zoom in a little bit, and you can see there is a little bit of a overhang here and here, but since it's a tiger, I'm not going to worry about it too much, because you know their patterns aren't perfect either. But that's kind of what happens when you're trying to layer the vinyl, and it can kind of stretch or shrink or something. But now I've got that down, I'm going to grab my paper again. Press down hard. And I think it might actually move, like when you're trying to move your iron around, That's why I said, you know, if you have a heat press, it probably works better, and you probably get a lot cleaner layering that way. Okay, now I'm going to get it. Now I'm going to peel up. Alright. Now I'll turn it around so you can see it a little bit better. And I'll zoom in for you. And there it is. There is the tiger on the hoodie. And when you wash this, you'll want to make sure you have it inside out. And the ones that I've done, we just hang to dry. That way it's not getting in the heat and maybe loosening up the vinyl or anything. But that's how you do it. It's very simple.